quiz. We recorded. Okay, we're gonna go over the homework and then we got to watch Flatland for the remainder of the time. So we only have one question on parametric 3.
There's an 8.
Yeah, there's an 8.
There's no 8 on the homework.
You're just joking. Yeah, we're obviously just joking.
Really now.
We're all joking. See, I got him in one correct.
Okay, there was one problem on parametric 3, problem 3. That problem is on the test. You guys gotta learn how to do that. Find the distance between a point and a line in space. You guys didn't even try that one? Oh, that's the one that's up there. What about number 1? You guys, oh, everybody can do number 1, huh? Oh, even the hard ones, yeah, like 1D. You guys even, and then look, triple angle 1A. You guys are good at that right now. Okay. And then, wait, oh, I'm looking for one. Oh no. You sure you don't want to do 1D? Come on, this is where the guinea pig class. Get it on video. Some of you just looking at it for the first time now. You looked at it. What are you guys thinking? Mr. Park, he doesn't know what he's talking about when he says this is going to be the toughest test of the year. Yeah, just wait till the night before to kick it up a notch. I dare you. Okay, now look. Here are the equations. Now they're starting to get tougher, people. You just wait till you see the test. Just wait. Yeah, some of you might cry. Okay, now what do I do? Okay, I'm going to tell you, okay, I think I told you guys this on the first day. If you ever get stuck, and you will get stuck on a test, believe me, just try squaring the equations. Just try. Write this down. If stuck, then square.
Wait. Can we like square like at the midway through the problem, or do?
What? No. Okay, if you square the first equation, so if you get stuck, and I'm telling you, you are going to get stuck on the test. Try squaring the equations. Something good might happen. X squared is equal to cosine squared t plus 2 cosine sine, right? Plus, and you got to square the whole side, just not the terms that you like though. Y squared equals cosine squared t minus 2 cosine sine plus sine squared t. Oh, you telling me what to do now?
Yeah.
Okay, now, if I want to eliminate the t's, what should I do? Add or subtract? Add. So if you add the two equations, you get x squared plus y squared equals, well, when you add, these two cancel out. Well, you get 2. This cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. That's 1, and here's another 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. See how it got me out of trouble right there? I squared the equations and then either add, subtract, multiply, or divide them, and something good might happen, right? Oh. Remember that. Are you guys going to remember this? Probably not yet. Okay, so the radius of the circle is root 2, so let's go root 2. 1.414, right?
Yeah.
Or 1.4 for you guys, good enough. Okay, now how does the particle travel on the circle? Plug in, well, if I were me, I would plug in 0, pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and pi. That's what I would do. Okay, plug in 0, go.
1. Oh, 1.
We need coordinates here.
Wait, no. 1. 1.
How did that take so long? If you plug in 0, you get 1 plus 0. So isn't this going to be 1 minus 0? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, plug in pi over 4. Go. Who said 2 root 2? You're just repeating what somebody said. You're repeating something that's wrong.
Oh!
It's not 2 root 2.
1 0.
No.
Wait, wait.
Root 2.
First of all, 1, 0 is not even on the graph.
Wait, wait, pi over four.
Root 2, 0.
Oh, wait.
Root 2 over 2 plus root 2 over 2
Root 2.
is root 2.
Oh.
1/2 x plus 1/2 x is 1x.
Pi over four.
Yeah, we're plugging in pi over 4. So you get root 2 over 2 plus root 2 over 2, and then root 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2.
Zero.
So it's root 2 comma 0. It's right here. Man, we can't even plug in, man. That's so sad. Okay, plug in pi over 2. 1, 0, plus 1, 0, minus 1.
Negative
1, negative 1.
negative.
That's weird. People, you know what? You know what's the bad part? Because you just, this is like the same thing except one is a plus and one is a minus. Okay, 3 pi over 4.
Negative
0, negative
Negative root 2 over 2 plus root 2 over 2.
zero.
Negative root 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2.
Zero.
negative 0.
Wait, what was it?
2 root 2 over 2.
0, negative 1.
Oh,
Negative
negative,
two.
negative.
Negative root 2, negative 1.
Negative root 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2 is negative root 2.
You said negative 1.
Yeah.
I don't care what I said. Pi. Finally, plug in pi, finally. Negative 1 plus 0. Negative 1 minus 0.
Negative one, negative one.
That's the only one you can do it because it's got 0 in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the particle starts here and it goes woo, halfway around the circle.
Come on, man.
People, this is nothing. If you guys don't start kicking it up, when are you guys going to start kicking it up? Next week, Monday?
What is that?
Next week.
Well, how many worksheets are there?
Four.
Well, we're discussing parametric 3 today.
Or you don't like to have a Monday.
Discuss that.
And we're going to discuss parametric 4 on Friday. But then we don't want to have the test Monday, so it'll be Tuesday.
Okay.
Because the musical people just bomb, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go to plan B just for them. What about the wrestling people?
I mean,
No, but you guys got Sunday to recover, right?
No.
yeah.
Well, musical people too, you can recover on Sunday, right?
No. Some people.
Well, maybe you don't do them. Because maybe, okay, think about this. Are you getting graded for your activity on Sunday? No further questions, Your Honor. Okay. And then shall we do number 3? This problem is on the test. Circle it right now. You just got to repeat what I'm going to do here with different numbers.
Are you gonna kick it up?
No.
Oh, nice.
It's because you can't do it.
What?
No, did Vol, did you do number 3?
Yeah!
How did you do it?
Because they would be number.
Complete the square? What?
Yeah,
Number 3, right, we're talking about.
Yeah, like I just like found.
Drew a triangle. Find the height of the triangle.
No, it was weird because I just used a distance formula, and then
Yeah, but how do you know what point?
I want. But it's just like I wanted to minimize the distance between the point and the line, so I completed the square.
Oh, okay, I see what you did.
I don't even
Okay, yeah, okay, the rest of you, you don't want to do it that way. No, it's serious, do it this way. Okay, so we have a line and a point.
Or a triangle.
Okay, and this line has, so, 2, 1, and 1, 3, negative 1. Now, when you find the distance between a point and any graph, you want to find the smallest possible distance, right? So the perpendicular distance here. This is the distance you want to find.
Triangle.
Yeah, so what you do is you form a triangle. No, Bo didn't do it this way.
I don't trust him.
So isn't this distance simply the height of the triangle?
Yeah.
So if I can find the height of the triangle, that's the answer. Well, isn't the area of a triangle equal to 1/2 base times height? So if I can find the area of this triangle and the length of the base, then I just got to divide to figure out the height then, right? And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so what two vectors, and actually you could have done this last chapter, except you didn't know what the equation of a line was in 3 dimensions. So what we're gonna do is form vectors now. What two vectors form this triangle? This one and that one. Don't those two vectors form the triangle? Or you could have done down and down, it really doesn't matter, but just make sure the vectors form the triangle. Now componentize these two vectors.
2. Oh no, negative 2.
Why don't we call this u, vector u, and this is vector v? What is vector u in component form? Head minus tail.
Negative.
Negative 2, 3, 1. What is vector v in component form?
Negative 2.
Negative 2,
Negative
1, no,
Oh.
1, negative 2. You cannot even subtract. Okay, now if you know two vectors, how do you find the area of the triangle we did this last chapter?
1/2.
1/2 the length of the cross product, right? Remember that?
Oh,
Okay, so let's do that. So we're gonna cross product these two vectors.
Wait. Let's see because I had.
Yeah,
I, J.
I hat, j hat, k hat, then negative 2, 3, 1, negative 2, 1, negative 2.
Oh, I remember that.
Going across the first row. I told you we're going to do vectors in this chapter. Okay, going across the first row, so what's the first number? Negative 6 minus 1.
Negative 7.
And then 4 plus 2. 6. And then negative 2 plus 6 is 4. Did I do that correctly?
Yeah.
And if you don't like the I, J, K, then just change it back to this then, right? This is the cross product. Half the length of it is the area of the triangle. So so what's the area of the triangle?
49.
Well, what's the length of the cross product?
Square root.
Square root of 49 plus 36 plus 16 all over 2. That's the area of the triangle, right?
Just say 1/2.
Half the length of the cross product is the area of the triangle. We did this last chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Half the length. And that's equal to 1/2 base times height. Now, isn't the base of the triangle vector v?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's vector v. How do I find the length of that vector? The square root of that square plus that square plus that square. Here, I'll use it right here. Square root of 3 plus 1. That's not true. 4 plus 1 plus 4, which is 3. And then you can multiply both sides by 2. So therefore, the height is simply the square root of, what is this? 85, 101 over, that's 3, and there's your answer.
Nice.
Smart.
Now, if you want a formula, look, notice what we did. What is this? What is the square root of 101?
The length or the
That's the length of the cross product. So it's the length of the cross product. Oh, this is the cross product. Over the and where did this 3 come from? It came from this. That's the length of vector v. So this gives you the distance. If you want a formula, that gives you the distance between a point and a line. But you gotta know which one is u and v. V is the base, and u is not the base. I wouldn't memorize the formula. I would just remember, just go 1/2 base times height. And the height tells you the distance. This problem is on the test. Do you think you can repeat it with different numbers? What do you mean, no? I showed you exactly how to do it. I even gave you a formula for the plug-in chuggers. And see, you see number 4? That problem's going to be in the test too, you know. I told you guys. You're going to have a line. Where does it intersect some graph? This time it's a sphere. Today's quiz was a plane, right? So then on the worksheet it's a sphere. What do you think it's going to be in the test? Hyperbolic paraboloid, maybe. Or maybe. So you guys want to do number 4?
Yeah.
Why don't we do number 4? Because we can get it on video.
Yay.
You watch the video.
Oh, come on, I gotta tell you. Okay, so here, number 4. Here's the line. Now notice, see, the difference is I gave you the line in rectangular form. Where does this line intersect the sphere? Now, like today's quiz, what form do you need the line to be in if you want to find where it intersects a graph? You need it to be in parametric form so you can plug it in. So you got to change this line into parametric form. So what is it? Negative 7 plus 3t. 8 minus 3t.
Oh, it's negative?
10 minus 4t. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, once you get this, plug it in, man. Come on. Negative 7 plus 3t squared. See, now this squared. What if I put a cube there? All hell's going to break loose. Come on, use the binomial theorem then.
Oh my god.
Okay, now, see how it gets kicked up the notch when you get squares?
Oh, this
Like
is-
today's quiz, there was no square there, so easy, yeah? On the test, square kicks it up a notch. You want to kick it up another notch? Put 3 or 4 power there. That doesn't work. Okay, so here we go. 49 minus 42t plus 9t squared. 64 minus 48t plus 9t squared. 100 minus 80t plus 16t squared equals 9. So add them up. 34t squared minus 170t plus, what's 49 plus 64?
Little big number.
113. So 213 equal 9. So 34t squared minus 170t plus 204 equals 0. So if you can get to this correct quadratic equation, I will give you 4 out of 8 points, bro.
Divide by 5.
But if you make a mistake here, then you're going to have problems.
34. Divide by 34.
Can I reduce these numbers?
Divide by 34.
17.
34.
Oh wait, no.
34.
34?
156.
Whoa! See, some of you wouldn't even think of reducing that, yeah? No, I'm just going to throw this in the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, that would be a nightmare.
That would be
Minus
28900.
5t. And 34 goes into that 6 times? Yes, it does. Look how beautiful that is. T minus 2, t minus 3. Anyway, even if you did put it in the quadratic formula, you would get 2 or 3 if you did the computations correctly. So t equals 2 or 3. Hey, there's 2 times this thing intersects a sphere. Duh, when a line punctures a sphere, it's going to go twice, right?
Yep.
Okay, here's a sphere. Boom, boom. See?
It intersects at like infinite amount of points, doesn't it?
How can a line intersect a sphere? Okay, let's think about it. How can a line intersect a sphere at an infinite number of points? Okay, see, this is your misconception. A sphere is only the
It's empty?
yes, that's not a sphere. A sphere is only the shell only.
What is it when it's filled?
Ball. I already told you guys this, like a cylinder is only this. This is a cylinder. It doesn't have a top and bottom. There's no inside it. The cylinder is just this thing here. Yeah. What did you guys learn in geometry? My goodness. And how do you, okay, once you have your time values here, how do you figure out the 2 points? You plug it back in and you get, so if you plug in 2, what is that? Negative 7 plus 6. 8 minus 6.
2.
10 minus 8.
2.
And the other point you plug in 3. Negative 7 plus 9.
2.
8 minus 9.
Negative 1. Negative 2.
10. Oh, you guys think you're good now, huh? See, this isn't really that hard, right? Why are half of you going to bomb this problem? Because you don't practice the algebra. You just copy the algebra. You don't do the algebra. Assuming.
I did it.
You going to remember to reduce it by 34 over here?
I'll just do math.
What's that?
You're going to go b squared minus 4ac?
Of course not.
28900 minus.
Anyway, if you think about it, why would I give you something that comes out to an ugly quadratic formula? Because then you got to take those 2 ugly quadratic formula thingies and then now you got to plug it in.
Last time it was 11
You know I'm gonna make it come out to integers.
Wait, that's
You
what-
know.
On that one test, you come up with fractions.
Okay, look, now parametric 4, this is all, it's just review, man. Okay, distance between a line and a point, you guys practice that.
Oh my.
Where does the line intersect the graph? Whoa.
Wait, how come this is a skill at looking at this?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
On page 7, it's all blank.
Page 7?
Colin Cat.
Yeah,
There's a blank page
yeah,
there.
there's a-
You write that?
Oh yeah,
No.
it's the blank page.
What is that supposed to be? Is that like a-
There's not supposed to be a blank page.
You know, Alex Smith got traded this today.
Yeah, I heard from you.
Now I
you
have money to give Colin Kaepernick a ring. He's not even making $1 million.
Hey, he's a rookie. What do you expect?
He was the second.
They're gonna renegotiate his contract?
I don't think so.
So it's over.
Okay, how much time do we have?
20 minutes.
What are you guys doing?
Do we
We
have
got
popcorn?
25 minutes.
What?
Did anyone bring popcorn?
You get here to look like you're
Four. You got the last one wrong.
So this is beings living in a two-dimensional world, and then a three-dimensional being is gonna tell me.
How long is it?
Is it like animated?
But then the story goes on, so it's like,
No, it's not animated. They just took the beat and they just move it around.
yes, it's animated.
Shut up! Are we gonna turn off lights? Is the camera still on?
Yes, I was planning to.
Oh, thank you.
I provided your first site for lesson?
You go, sit down.
What do you see when you look at me?
A square,
Is that what you really see? Go on.
a line,
Is that all? Where do you see the edges of the line? Look closer.
I see like shadings.
That's the ether, the fog. It dims the light the further away you are. It's everywhere. So, to children and the uneducated, it's nowhere, invisible. Way around, touching people in order to figure out who or what they are.
Oh, it's a boy?
Feelers are Sticksville.
That's right, that's right. Now, suppose two individuals are approaching. A triangle and a pentagon. Which is which? No touching. If that were a real triangle, you could hurt yourself on a sharp angle.
Why can't I just walk around it? That way I can see the shading easier.
That's not done in polite company. Sometimes when there are a lot of people, you can wiggle back and forth to triangulate, but you don't want to go all the way around someone. So you figure it out by staying right where you are.
But how do I do it?
Through the shape, through the shading. See? My brother in?
I can't do it. Am I stupid? I must be a feeler.
Sight recognition isn't easy, I know, but